We've got a major Malik Nabers injury update to get into as the New York Giants star wide receiver got one step closer to being back on the football field in full capacity and potentially playing in a game. We'll talk about Nabers and wearing that red jersey coming up. But could the Giants be trading for all-pro corner Christian Gonzalez? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. My name is Marshall Green, and we are presented by Prize Picks. A lot of people have been messaging me, Marsh, what do you think about the Giants trading for Christian Gonzalez? And I'm going to be honest with you. I was off this week on Thursday and Friday as I prepared for the Giants preseason game on Saturday, and I had no idea where all of these rumors were coming from. I know that Christian Gonzalez right now is somewhat holding in with the New England Patriots, and he wants a record-setting deal at the cornerback position. And then I started to do some digging, and I saw Art Stapleton was the one that started it all. Tweeting out, cornerback Terrion Arnold was expected to sign with the Super Bowl's champion Seahawks. Also, the Giants were in on that. Supposedly, the Giants wanted to sign him, but he ultimately ended up signing with the Seahawks. Then on the back end, said, if I'm the Harbaugh Shane Giants, I'm seriously considering making an offer, and it would be costly to the New England Patriots for cornerback Christian Gonzalez. He then had another tweet a couple of hours later saying the Patriots could sign Christian Gonzalez to a top-of-the-market deal tomorrow. They probably should have yesterday, and they haven't. So until they do, it's a situation that is unsettled. If I'm the Giants, I explore the chance they would deal him like the Cowboys dealt Micah Parsons. There were then some people that somewhat pushed back at Art Stapleton saying, dude, you're an idiot for even proposing this. I have to block you so this nonsense never comes across my timeline again. That's my commenter voice, so I read some of your comments like that. But then Art said, it's like some of you haven't been paying attention to the Gonzalez contract situation. The Cowboys would never trade Micah Parsons. Make a call. See what it costs. Be aggressive. So there you go. That is where all of the Christian Gonzalez trade hype for the New York Giants ultimately comes from. And I'm not here to say that Art Stapleton is right. I'm not here to say that Art Stapleton is wrong. I'll say this. If Christian Gonzalez is a player that the New England Patriots are considering moving in a trade, the New York Giants should definitely pick up the phone. But they also should know that it's not going to come cheap. I like how Art mentioned the Micah Parsons trade as a similar situation. I do think that there are some similarities there. And we saw the Green Bay Packers give up 2 first-round picks and a quality starter in Kenny Clark. We also saw last year a star corner in Sauce Gardner be traded out of New York to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks and a starting caliber wide receiver in A.D. Mitchell. So if the Giants are going to pick up the phone, they are going to need to have to put on their big boy pants and realize that they are going to have to probably submit an offer to the New England Patriots that they cannot refuse, just like Jerry Jones could not refuse the offer that the Green Bay Packers sent him, or Chris Ballard of the the New York Jets could not refuse the offer that Chris Ballard from the Colts sent to the New York Jets. The only problem with the New York Giants sending an all-in offer is they lack some draft capital going into the 2027 NFL draft. Yes, they have a first, second, and third round pick, but they do not have a fourth round pick, and they do not have a seventh round pick. And we know that John Harbaugh, at least dating back to his days with the Baltimore Ravens, would rather collect draft capital than continuously shell it out. They already made a big move to move up in the draft to select Malachi Fields, which is looking like a move that is going to pay off. But then on the flip side, the New York Giants cornerback room is an absolute mess right now. Paulson Adebo has not looked good in camp, and he was hurt and did not play in preseason game number 1. Drew Phillips did not play in preseason game number 1. He is hurt. Greg Newsome did not play in preseason game number 1. I actually thought when I went back and watched the tape that Deonte Banks looked okay in that game. One of the penalties that he was flagged for was not a penalty at all. I think that was all right. Colton Hood had a solid-ish game. I did not walk away from that game saying, though, that I feel confident in him being our starting corner. And the New York Giants signed Sam Webb a couple of days ago, and he has already essentially retired from the National Football League. So the Giants have another spot to go and fill on this cornerback depth chart. What would a trade look like? I don't really know, but I think it would have to be a hefty offer from the New York Giants and at minimum include 1 first-round pick. I think it could look somewhat close to this if the Patriots are actually interested in trading Christian Gonzalez. The Giants would have to send a first-round pick this year, maybe a second-round pick next year, and then a player as well in Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm just trying to kind of match the contract or the trade details of the Micah Parsons and the Sauce Gardner deal. So I'll ask you this question. Would you make this trade a first, second-round pick and Kayvon Thibodeaux going to New England and the New York Giants acquiring maybe the best corner in the National Football League and Christian Gonzalez, type A for accept, type D for decline? I'll just flat out say it like this. I seriously doubt that the New England Patriots are going to trade Christian Gonzalez. If they are, I do think the New York Giants should be interested. And one of the main reasons is obviously your cornerback room is no good right now, but you have Jackson Dart on a rookie scale contract. He is never going to be cheaper on the books than he is right now. But that same exact logic applies to New England Patriots with Drake May. So ultimately, I probably would do that deal of a first and second round pick. I don't love giving up that type of draft capital, but we already know what Gonzalez is. And if the New York Giants could have for the next 5 years a lockdown corner, I think that elevates this defense. Ultimately, though, I think the chances are slim to none that he gets traded. But hey, if any more information comes out, we'll get you guys a video. So subscribe and turn those notifications on. Let's talk Malik Nabers coming up here in a moment. A big step in the right direction for him and potentially playing very soon. Make sure, though, you are hooked up with our presenting sponsor of today's show. That is Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that promo code HMA. And when you play and win your first $5 lineup, you get $150 in bonus lineups. Just got to use the promo code HMA. With preseason football back, that means it's time to get into our Prize Picks bag. Baseball, basketball, football, esports, tennis, so much more available on Prize Picks. They even have some options for you for some season-long lineups that you can submit for the upcoming football season, like passing touchdowns, passing yards, and rushing touchdowns for all types of quarterbacks. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply pick more or less on the stats that are projected by Prize Picks. If you do the power play option, you got to get all your picks correct. So get started today. Play your first $5. Get $150 in bonus lineups if you use the promo code HMA. Just got to win that $5 lineup. All right, at Thursday's practice, I believe it was. I don't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. I was off those 2 days. Wasn't able to get you guys a video. I was super busy getting ready for the weekend. But Malik Nabers wearing a different colored jersey at practice. He is now in a red non-contact jersey, and he finally participated in some live-ish 11-on-11 reps. The Giants' entire team was not in pads. I was told it was essentially a walkthrough, but don't get it twisted. This was a huge step for Malik Nabers. And John Harbaugh, he agrees. He says, look, talking about Nabers getting into drills at Giants practice today, it's a big step to get into team drills. For him to do that, it was a milestone, I would say, for our team. And he even talked about he being John Harbaugh, that we could potentially see him in practice this week and even more work being put on his plate. Charlotte Carroll, who works for The Athletic and covers the New York Giants, writing Malik Nabers in the red non-contact jersey today. He partook in some of today's half-speed Giants walkthrough with 4 targets and 4 receptions by my count. Also says wasn't there West Virginia the day he did this last week, but similar style reps for the wide receiver as he works his way back. I think I said at the top of the show, this is a big week for Malik Nabers. It's also a big week for the New York Football Giants as well. John Harbaugh said the Giants will alternate shells and pads this week. Shells is where you just wear a helmet. Full pads is obviously full pads. They will have the pads on for Thursday's joint practice in Miami before their preseason game on Saturday. What days will be in pads? What days will be in shells? I am curious to see if Malik Nabers maybe participates in a limited capacity wearing that red jersey in full pads when they do some of those live 11-on-11 works, or does he only continue to participate in the walkthrough portions of practice? I don't think that it would be smart or they should have him participate in the joint practice versus the Miami Dolphins just because The Dolphins obviously don't care about Malik Nabers, whereas Deontay Banks or Greg Newsome might take it a little more safe and cautious approach when defending Malik Nabers. But a big week for him and a big week for the New York Giants as well. If they don't look good in the joint practice versus the Miami Dolphins, I don't think it'll be time to sound the alarms, but we're going to have some conversations as well. So good news on Malik Nabers and good news on the Giants pass catchers as well in their first preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. I think Malachi Fields is going to be the wide receiver 2 on this team. I think he just brings something that nobody else does. Clearly, there's already a chemistry and continuity there with he and Jackson Dart, and I think he's a good football player, man. Everyone's going to talk about the touchdown, and rightfully so, but that slant where he has to go low and out of his catch radius to make the grab, and then the stop route on the right side, he essentially catches the ball, breaks the tackle, advances for a handful more yards. Like, at 6'4", 225 pounds, it's going to be difficult for these 5'10", 195-pound corners to bring him down. Big day for Fields on Saturday, and I think he is going to be the wide receiver 2 for this football team. Only 2 grabs for Isaiah Likely, but both coming on third down. I think that's going to be a little preview of this New York Giants offense. When it's third down and it's time to move the sticks, look for number 6 to find number 9. Isaiah Likely, hopefully we can see some more from him this week at joint practices and what he's going to do in the next preseason game. Braxton Berrios, I think he's going to make this team. I do. One, he got snaps as a wide receiver with Jackson Dart. I think that matters. We're going to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. in a second. He did not. Braxton Berrios also was the first-team punt returner for the New York Giants. And if you're getting snaps with the first-team offense and you're the first-team punt returner, like, light bulb went off in my head. Like, Braxton Berrios is probably going to end up making this team. Still a lot more to go and 2 more games and plenty of practices and conversations to be had at 1925 Giants Drive, but don't be shocked if Berrios makes this team. Odell Beckham Jr. had 2 catches yesterday, 1 on a slant and 1 on a screen that didn't have a chance. We all know he was open on the seam route where Jameis Winston missed him, but at the end of the day, he didn't really miss him, and Odell didn't really do anything except run straight. I was more impressed by the pass he did not get from Brandon Allen on the right side, where he beat the defensive back off the release, stacked him, and was open. Allen would have had to make a good throw and came off his first read or just read the play correctly from Jump Street, but I think it's a competition between Odell Beckham Jr. and Braxton Berrios to make this team. The Giants keep 6 receivers. I think it could be tough for OBJ to make this team unless he pops off in the next couple of days or games, in practices. If they keep 7, though, which is always hard for teams to do, I think Odell would be that 7th receiver. Don't sleep on Dalen Cambry as well. He is a backup slot receiver on this team, and a nice catch yesterday where he got a 20-yard gain, and another nice catch or a nice play out of the screen where he got a first down, but it was called back due to a holding on Isaiah Hodgins. But he was also someone that made a play. I forget if it was on punt coverage or kickoff, special teams tackle, and John Harbaugh has spoken about him publicly. Maybe it's another year where they try to hide him on the practice squad, and there's some game day elevations, but Dalen Cambry's a good football player, and he is fighting to make this football team. Appreciate all y'all for tuning into today's video. If you made it this far on the show, hit that thumbs up icon, and go give me a follow on social media.